Well, I hope this is good advice. If you have a podcast and a business, I personally I set a goal to do 300 interviews myself last year, to not be on this side, to be on this side of the mic rather than on the interviewing side of the mic, because some of mine are interviews and some of mine on my show are solos. And it taught me a lot about my message. It taught me a lot about how I want to say things from my show. It taught me about how I want to say things from the stage or even on my website. I think, Adam, I'm going to use this whole analogy to actually feed better into what we talked about from my artwork and my description and stuff on my podcast. But I think if you're willing to go on other people's shows, it will help you figure out how to say your message better. Because if you're doing your podcast to fuel your business or as a free museum for your business or whatever you're using it for, when you have to explain it to different people in different ways, I've done parenting podcasts, I've done branding podcasts, I've done all kinds of podcasts. And every time I have to talk to a different type of audience, I need to learn how to say it in a different way. And so it really helped me make it concise and clear. Even though my title's not, it made my message more concise and clear. So that would be my first piece of advice.
Yeah. What else?
I think the other piece is that it doesn't have to be extravagant. It can be simple. Some of the podcasts that I listen to that have hundreds of thousands of downloads don't have as good a sound quality as my podcast has. And it doesn't have to be that extravagant. It can be really simple. You even talked to me about making sure that I don't skip a week, little things like that. And I was listening to somebody that is my coach in an email space, and sometimes she'll just put out a 5-minute episode, so it's just the consistency of being there. I try to do it every week, and I try to make sure that we have something out. If we can batch, we batch. But I think just being willing to put something out because somebody is subscribed to that podcast and they want to hear from you. And that's a piece of my own mindset that I'm still working on. But I would say that's a piece that I would definitely say, keep going.
I resonate with that specifically because there's this show on Netflix that I really love. I think it's called Ozark. And in the middle of a season, they took a pause. I think it was season 4. It was probably the most recent season, but they took a pause. And because of that, I myself went and found a different show, and then another show, and then another show. And it's been several years.
Mm.
And I still want to listen to watch the rest of that show. I want it to finish. I want to know what happened. But because they paused, because they took a few weeks, or maybe it was a few months, because they took time off, I got interested in other shows. And then I was already watching those other shows. And it's been years, and I haven't been able to even finish that yet. And it's not that I hate Ozark. I definitely want the content. I want to sit there. I want to know what happens. But because they took a couple weeks off, I went and did something else, and I still haven't gotten back after years. So I need to make a commitment. Those New Year's resolutions, it's January. I need to make a commitment. I'm finally going to finish that. But it resonates with me how you're talking about making sure that you stay consistent and stay in front of that listener, because it's not that they hate you. They obviously were subscribed. They wanted to be part of it. But if you miss a few weeks, maybe they're going to go find the next episode for somebody else. And maybe they'll get stuck with it. Maybe they'll love it and forget about, or just not have a chance to come back. So that was really good. Appreciate you. I'm going to do some figuring out of my own core values because of what I learned from you today. I'm going to figure out how can that help me to be able to benefit my person. And I have one random question that I'm not sure what the answer is going to be. When you keep talking about DISC, and I've done other things, like I've done DISC. I don't remember my 4 letters, but I've also done, culture index, predictive index, and some other things like DISC. And they are very helpful. They are very impactful. It helps me understand how I communicate with people. It helps me them understand how I communicate. I've dated a couple of people and I've been blunt or direct, and I didn't think rude or argumentative, but it came across that way because at least on predictive index, it's I'm a maverick. I don't know what that means on DISC, but
okay.
My question is, if we take the time to do our personality profile through one of these things, and I know you're certified with DISC, it sounds like you are, is that beneficial to our core values, or is it beneficial in a different way?